Hey team, welcome to the Work Hat Desk. I'm the Work Hat Man Sho, and I'm gonna give you the weekly rundown of corporate tea, workplace hacks, and everything happening in the 9-to-5 world. So grab your mug, take that fake meeting, whatever you gotta do, and let's get into it. Today's news, return to office is back again. Microsoft, NBC Universal, now Instagram, and so many more companies just doubled down on stricter in-office mandates. The companies are calling it culture building. You know what the employees are calling it? Corporate control. So there's this battle for power right now. You know what I'm calling it? I'm calling it old school leadership, man, because let's be honest, this isn't about productivity. It's about keeping your eyes on your people. It's about visibility. It's about employees having too much freedom these days. But it's really about leaders who think if I can't see you, that means you must not be working. And to be honest, I don't blame them per se, because if I was in a situation where my boss was looking at me work, I'd admit it. Like, I'd work harder because my boss is on my ass, right? But that would also mean I would work harder, but I'd be more stressed out. And more stress and more unnecessary requirements is one of the fastest ways to get rid of your people. If you think about it, it's now been over 5 years since the pandemic happened. And ever since, people have proven that good work doesn't live inside cubicles. So if leadership's main argument is productivity, maybe it's time to redefine what that even means, right? Because if you look into the numbers, here's what the studies actually say. Work done remotely has 40% fewer mistakes. People save a whopping 72 minutes a day on commuting, and 77% of hybrid workers report higher productivity overall. I'm telling you from my own experience and from all the clients that I'm seeing, the best companies in 2026 and in the future, they're not gonna be the ones dragging their people back to the desk, because that's the surefire way to lose them. The best companies are gonna be flexible, maybe not completely remote, but they are gonna at least allow their employees to have some work from home days, maybe 1 or 2 days being remote, but just being a little bit more flexible in general. So if you're watching this and you're like, what Sho, I just got this big email from HR saying mandatory return to office, what should you do? You have two options here, okay? The first option, which I think 90% of people are gonna do, is just to accept it and say it is what it is and get ready to go in. And to be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with that, because if you love your job, if you love your boss, if you know this is just a culture thing and they really want people in and you don't mind it, more power to you. Go in, show face, do what you gotta do. But that's not the only option. The second option, and probably what I would at least try to do, is fight back, but not fight back with this whole revolt, with the whole office against your boss or HR, but to fight back strategically and with some data points. Let me explain what that means. So again, fighting back is not actually you fighting, but what you're trying to do is building a business case why remote or hybrid or a flexible schedule is good for you, but more importantly, good for the business, good for the team, good for the boss overall. And you do this the same way that you would build a business case at work. You bring up the main projects you're working on. You're bringing up data points, why it makes sense for everybody. You propose a schedule that's a win-win. It's not completely tied to your side, but you showcase how you're trying to work with the company here. But most importantly, you frame it around business value. So here's a template email that you could write just to get your thing started. But really what's important here is that after you send that email, you then have a face-to-face with your boss and talk it out. From my experience, there's so many plus points of this conversation, even if they don't give you exact things you're looking for, because it opens up the doors for them to giving you something good down the line. And it just shows to your boss that you're proactive and that you're thinking outside the box, right? Again, it's not gonna work every single time, and you will probably get some pushback, and you'll probably have to do a couple of things like this. But if you don't have this conversation, you know that the answer is always gonna be no. So my philosophy is just better to take a swing at it and just see what happens. What can also happen after this conversation is that you will know where your boss and your team stands with you as well. If they really don't budge, if they really don't even hear you out, if they say it's my way or the highway, that's also a hint to you to maybe understanding that this might not be the long-term place for you too. And I'm not telling you to rage quit and leave immediately, but I'm also not telling you to not explore your options. If this means you silently looking, if this means you just taking a look at the job boards and just seeing what else is out there, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. At the end of the day, work from home, flexibility, being remote, it's a big plus. And there's even studies saying that people will take tens of thousands of dollars less money to stay work from home. So you're not alone here by wanting to be in a place that's gonna allow you to be flexible and allow you to have some time at home. So with that, that's this week in work, and I'll see you next week. Take care.